Hello everyone and welcome once again to MJ's Maths and Stats. That's MJ Magic Studio to you. I'm your host, your host, and as usual, always in the ghost mode, Mohit Jain, with actual question asked at TCS Digital Examination on Saturday, 7th of August. First slot, 9 a.m. slot. We would be discussing 15 questions which were asked in advanced quantitative aptitude, for which 40 minutes were given. And we all know the drill of how the exam pattern was and everything. The link of the first slot solutions which were held on 8th August. Obviously, the 7th August session I planned a little late. So you can go through it for the detailed analysis, and in this particular session we would be solving those 15 questions only. All were from arithmetic, one was from probability, yes, two from simple interest, compound interest, time and work, time, speed, distance, and the regular topics which I have already discussed in detail in the first slot of 8th of August. The link is there in the description. Please go through it. So on this note, on this happy note, and yes, I forgot about the drill. Drill is very simple. You know that. Pause the session, try to solve the question, and then look forward for the solution. And these kind of question itself they ask at TCS NQT also, and we are hoping that since Ninja examination of TCS is also being operated by the same platform of TCS NQT, they most likely that you will find these kind of questions there in TCS Ninja 2. So on this note, on this happy note, let's begin now. Okay, on to the first question, and this is from partnership ratios. Okay, let's see what it is. A and B started a business where the investment of A was 40% of the total investment. So investment of A, if total investment is 10, is 4, and then investment of B would be 6. That makes the total investment 10. Or let it be 4x and 6x, total investment is 10x. B invested his sum for 4 months. Okay, this was his investment for 4 months. And the profit received by A was 4/7 of the total profit. Find the time period of investment of A. Let A invested for Y months. Now we know that the ratio of A is to B dividing their profit would be 4/7 is to 1 minus 4/7, that is 3/7. So that would be 4:3. Now we know that they divide their profit or loss in the ratio of the weighted investment. This is the weighted investment. Weighted investment means investment into time period. So 4x, let us cancel this, x and x. 4y divided by 6 into 4 is equals to 4/3. 4 cancel out, 3 gone with 2. So y equals 4 into 2, that is 8 months. We are looking out for the value of y. Find the time period of investment of A. Investment of A is for 8 months straight away. That is in option C. Now the next one is from compound interest. A sum of rupees 7500 amounts to 9075 at 10% per annum in a certain time when the interest is compounded annually. We know that A equals P into 1 plus R by 100 to the power n. Here A is 9075 equals 7500 into R is 10%, that will be 1.1 to the power n. Let me use my friend calculator. 9075 divided by 7500 gives 1.21. Bingo. That means 1.21 is nothing but 1.1 whole square. That is 1.1 to the power n. That means money is invested for 2 years. Let's see what is being asked. What is the amount of the same sum at the same rate for 6/5 of the earlier time. Now in this case, time is equals to 6/5 of the earlier time, that is 2.4 years. Now 0.4 years means 4 by 10 into 12. If I do, let me convert into months, that would be 4.8 months. Now how much interest they would be getting for more 4.8 months? They are getting 10% interest for 12 months. For 12 months, interest getting is 10%. So for 4.8 months, they would get 10 by 12 into 4.8. Correct? 2, 5, 2, 6, and then 6 will go 0.8. That is 0.8 into 5 is 4%. That means over 9075, more 4% money would be what they would be getting. As simple as that. So amount, the new amount would be 9075. This is the amount at the end of second year. Another for 4.8 months, the amount would be getting or gaining 4%. So it would be simply 9075 into 1.04. Let's see how much it is. So we have 9075 into 1.04. That gives 9438. 9438. Do we have? Yes, we have this in option A. Okay, the next question we have from averages. The average weight of some students, let it be n, in a class is 62 kg. That means total weight should be 62n. If 8 students of average weight 55 leave, minus 8 into 55 weight gone, and 13 students of average weight of 65 join the class, plus 13 join the class of 65, then the average weight of the remaining student would be n minus 8 plus 13, that would be n plus 5. So remaining student we have got n plus 5. How? N minus 8 plus 13 would be n plus 5. The remaining student's average weight is 63.9 kg. The number of students in the class initially, that means they are looking out for the value of n straight away. Okay, so it is 62n minus 55 into 8 is 440, 35, 13 into 65. Yes. 13 into 65 would be, why not to use the calculator? 845. 845 equals 63.9 n plus 63.9 into 5 is 319.5. So 63.9 minus 62.9 will give 1.9 n. That is equals to 845 minus 440, and from here we will get minus 319.5. So it's coming to 85.5. Let's divide it. Divide by 1.9, you will get 45. So it was 85.5. N is equals to 85.5 by 1.9, that is 45. Number of students in the class initially were 45. We are looking out for the value of n, that is in option B. Okay, a question from profit and loss. Raj sold his bat at X% profit after giving a discount of X%. Okay, discount is always given on marked price. We have cost price and we have selling price. How to get to the selling price from marked price? By giving X% discount. And how to reach the selling price from the cost price? By having X% profit. The marked price was 2400 more than the cost price. That cost price is C, then marked price is C plus 2400. And the selling price was 900 more than the cost price. Selling price is C plus 900. So now we can frame two equation with this first relation and this second relation and can find the value of x. We are looking out for the value of 4x. So if I start with marked price, then since selling price is same, let me go and reach to the selling price from the marked price. That would be C plus 2400, X% discount, that means 1 minus X by 100. This is selling price, and the selling price should be equals to C into 1 plus X by 100. Cost price into 1 plus P by 100 gives you selling price. So let us solve this and get some relationship. If I take common C, 1 minus X by 100 minus 1 plus X by 100. Okay, this is C into 1 minus X by 100 minus 1 minus X by 100. Everything comes here, and then minus 2400 goes there with 1 minus X by 100. So here 1 cancel out, we'll cancel out minus afterward. So we'll get 2CX by 100, minus minus cancel out, that is 2400 into 100 minus X upon 100. Let's solve this, and we have CX by 100 minus X equals, if this cancels out, 1200. This is the first equation I have got. Now let me compare it with the selling price from this end. The profit is how much? Profit is X% of cost price. That means profit would be C into X by 100, and profit is 900 rupees because selling price is 900 more than cost price. So from here I'll get the value of CX. CX is 900 into 100. Now if I use CX here, I can get the value of X. So I have 90,000 by 100 minus X is 1200. So 90,000 divided by 1200 will give how much? 75. Okay, so that means 100 minus X is 75. X equals to 25. Straight away we get the value of X. And what we are looking out for? We are looking out for the value of 4X. Therefore 4X equals 25 into 4, that is 100. Option D fits. Okay, next question we have from framing equation with help of variation, I guess, fixed charges and something. A taxi charges in a city consists of fixed charge together with a charge for the distance traveled in kilometer. That is, it is dependent on kilometers. So total charges will be fixed plus dependent on distance. When a person travels 72 kilometers, so I can say total charges is F plus K into, let the rate for the per kilometer be X. So if a person travels 72 kilometers, he pays 1170. That means 1170 equals F plus 72X. He pays 898 if he is traveling 55 kilometers. That would be F plus 55X. Simply if we deduct this, we can find the value of X straight away. 1170 minus 898 will give 272. And FF cancel out, this 12 that will give 17X. So the variable kilometer per kilometer rate is 272 by 17, and that will go 16 times. Now we can find the value of F. So 1170 equals F plus 72 into 16. 72 into 16 is 1152. So F equals 70 minus 52 would be 18. 18 rupees is the fixed charge, and per kilometer they are charging 16 rupees. What will he have to pay for traveling 45 kilometers? Just put X, K equals to 45 here. So total expenses would be 18 plus K is 45 into 16. Let me calculate this straight away. 45 into 16 equals plus 18 equals 738. So that would be 738. Do we have this? Yes, we have this in option B. Okay, in this slot we have seen one question from number system, which was not there in any slot of 8th August. When a number x is divided by 9, the remainder is 6. That means my x is 9q1 plus 6, where q is the number of times it is divisible by 9. When the same number is divided by 21, the remainder is 12. So same number can also be written as 21q2 plus 12. Very fine. These kind of question can be very easily solved with help of Chinese remainder theorem. But Chinese remainder theorem is a quite lengthy process. Maybe in one of my session I would be taking up a Chinese remainder theorem. Just remind me sometime in the chat box or in the comment box. I'll try to take up one session of Chinese remainder theorem. But here it is better to use options or some other hints if it is given in the question. If x lies between 250 and 450, okay, we have a hint. It lies between 250 to 450. Then what is the sum of all possible values of x? See, we can use this hint to our strength very easily. Let's divide 250 by 9 and we are getting 27. That means 27 into 9 is 243. Plus 9 if I do, then the smallest number which I am getting is 252, which lies in this range, which is divisible by 9. Okay. Now this is divisible by 9. Let me add 6 to it. That means 258 when divided by 9 will leave remainder 6. Fair enough. Let us check for 21. 250 divided by 21 is 11. So 21 into 11 is 231. Plus 21 I need to do because I need a bigger number. That is 252 again. But here we need plus 12. So 252 is both divisible by 9 and 21. But 6 and 12 are giving us lifetime something which is not permissible. So 252 plus 21 is 273. Plus 12. I have recorded first number as 285. Let me divide this by 9. Okay, if I divide this by 9, 8 plus 2 is 10, plus 5 is 15, 1 plus 5 is 6. I'll get remainder 6 straight away. Bingo, I've got my first number and that is 285. You need to work it out like this or you follow the Chinese remainder theorem. Now the first number which when divided by 9 leaves remainder 6 and which when divided by 21 leaves remainder 12 is 285. Now what will be the next number? For next number we need LCM of 9 and 21. That is 3 into 3 and this is 3 into 7. So 9 into 7 is 63. That means next number is if we add 63 to it. That would be 8, yes 4 and 3. Next number, add 63 to it. 1, 1, 4. Now if I add 63 to it, it will be more than 450. So we have got three numbers, 285, 348 and 411, which follows whatever condition it's been given. We just need the sum of them. 8, 5, 13, 1, 14, 1, 9, 10, 14, 1, 5 and 5, 10. 1044. Then what is the sum of all possible values of x? It is 1044 and that is in option A. Okay, so next question that we have is from time and work. And please go through rule 8, that is the common multiple rule and other properties of time and work. Description contains the link to rule 8. Go through it so that time and work questions become really easy and easy actually for all of us. C can complete the work in 60 days. A and B takes 40% and 75% more time. A takes 40% more time, that is 60 into 1.4, that is 84 days. And B takes 75% more time, 60 into 1.75. 60 into 1.75 will give how much? 105. So A takes 84 days, B takes 105 days, and C takes 60 days to complete a work. The work was started by A and B and C worked with A on every third day. Okay, this is a similar kind of alternative days work type of question. In how many days will the work be completed? For that we will use rule 8 straight away. We need the common multiple 84, 420, yes, 420. Let they need to produce 420 units. 420 divided by 84 is 5. That means A is producing 5 units per day. 420 divided by 105 would be 4. B produces 4 units per day. And C produces 420 by 60, that is 7 units per day. Now what is the pattern they are following? A will work on day 1, then A will work on day 2. On day 3, all 3 of them will work. That means A produces 5 units on day 1, then A produces 5 units on day 2, then on day 3, all 3 are working. That means 9 plus 7, 16 units are produced. That means in altogether 3 days, 26 units are produced. And our task is to produce 420 units. Let's divide 420 by 26. We'll get what? What I have done. 420 divided by 26 will give 16. That means we will have 16 slots of 3 days. That means by the end of 48 days, let us see how many units are produced. 26 into 16, that is 416. By the end of 48 days, 416 units are produced, and we are left with 420 minus 416, that is 4 more units to be produced. Now who will come? A will come. A can produce 5 units in a day. That means to produce 4 units, A will take 4 by 5 part of the day, that is 0.8 days. So total time taken to complete the entire work would be 48.8 days. That is in option B. So now we have a question from simple interest. A sum was lent at a rate of 15% per annum, simple interest for X years, amounted to 17,600. Now in case of simple interest, formula for amount is P into 1 plus RT by 100. So first equation what we get is 17,600 equals P into 1 plus, let's time is X here and 15 plus 15X by 100. Okay. When the same sum was lent at a rate of 18% per annum, simple interest for X plus 2.5 years, it amounted to 24,320. So 24,320 equals again the same sum, 1 plus rate of interest is 18 and time period is X plus 2.5, this divided by 100. Find the value of X and the sum. See, these kind of equations we can solve and find the value of P and X very easily. Or straight away, if calculator is there, you can plug in options. And let's check if calculator is there. Let us see that if a calculator is there, what we can do. If I am trying out with maybe like first option, X is 2.5, then 15 into 2.5 divided by 100 plus 1. That is 1.375. 17,600 divided by 1.375 gives right away 12,800. That means this option fits in. As simple as that. Option A fits in. But if we want to actually solve, then let's divide these two. We would be able to solve. There is no harm in solving. We can solve. So that would be like 100, 18 into 2, 36 and 9, 45. 145 plus 18x divided by 100 plus 15x equals 2432. Let me deduct this 0 by 1760. 2 times it will go 1216. This is 880. 8 times 110 and 8 times this would be 152. So When we multiply, what we'll get? 145 into 110 will give 15950 plus 1980x equals 15200 plus 15 into 152, 2280x. 2280 minus 1980 is 300. X equals 750. So x will be equals to 75 by 30, that is 2.5. Now we can plug in 2.5 in any one of the equation. Here if we plug in 2.5, we get P equals to 12,800. Option A fits in. My advice would be, if calculator is there straight away in this particular examination or in examination where this question is asked, you can just start plugging in the option and you will get the answer in no time. Or else if calculator is not there, work it out. X is 2.5% and X is time, that is 2.5, and the principal invested is 12,800. Now this one is from time, speed, distance. A and B start from the same point and cover equal distances. A travels by car and covers the distance in 3 hours with a speed of 50. That means the distance they both have covered is 3 into 50, that is 150 kilometer. Okay. Now B travels by a bus which stops for 10 minutes after covering 10 kilometer. In how much time will the bus reach the destination if the speed of the bus is 40% less than the car? So speed of bus is 60% of 50, that is 30 kilometer per hour. Now if this bus runs without any brake, then the time taken by the bus to cover 150 kilometer would be 150 by 30, that is equals to 5 hours. Fair enough. But after covering every 10 kilometer, it is stopping for 10 minutes. Now, after covering the first 10, it is stopping. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is what? 10, 10, 10. 10 kilometers, 10 kilometers, 10, 10, 10. Let me divide this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. When the bus reaches 140 kilometer, the bus is taking break for the 14th time. 14 into 10 is bus have taken break for 140 minutes. Now please don't add the last stoppage and add 10 minutes to it. No. During this journey, bus have taken only 14 times break and the break was of 10 minutes. Why? Because when it has covered the last 10 kilometer, it have reached the destination. There is no point of calculating break at that point of time. Only 14 breaks need to be calculated. Now 140 minutes is how much? 2 hours 20 minutes. So total time taken is 5 plus 2 hours 20 minutes. That is 7 hours 20 minutes. In 7 hours 20 minutes, bus will reach its destination. Please don't add the last 10 minutes in it. Answer is not 7 hours 30 minutes. Answer is 7 hours 20 minutes. That is the answer. Because what is asked? In how much time bus will reach the destination? Okay, another one from time and work, which is quite amazing. That more than one question on time and work is not readily seen in those 15 questions. But here we have Ramesh can complete a work in 20 days. Are completing work in 20 days. Mohan is 66.67, that is 2/3 as efficient as Ramesh. That means Mohan will take more time and more time would be just inverse of the efficiency ratio 3 by 2. That means Mohan would be completing the same work in 30 days. If Mohan is 2/3 as efficient as Ramesh, that means if Ramesh is 3 times, Mohan is 2 times. Mohan will take 30 days. Mohan and Ramesh begin to work together. Very good. If they have started to work together, let me use my rule 8 straight away. 20, 30, LCM 60 units they need to produce. Their efficiency equals R is producing 3 units per hour or per day, and M is producing 2 units per day. Great. Now you can also see 3 into 2 by 3 is 2, what we are getting with help of efficiency. Ramesh leaves after working for some days. Okay. Then the remaining work is completed by Mohan in 10 days. For how many days does Ramesh leave the work? Ramesh works for X days. Mohan works for X plus 10 days. That means 3 into X plus 2 into X plus 20 is simply equals to the total work, that is 60. 20, this will be 40. 3x plus 2x is 5x. 5x is 40, which gives x equals to 8 days. Now what is the question? For how many days does Ramesh leave the work? After how many days? So after 8 days, Ramesh leave the work. Option C fits in. Okay, the question on the screen is from probability. A bag contains x plus 5 yellow balls, 2x plus 1 blue balls, and some red balls. If 2 balls are drawn one after another from the bag without replacement, then the probability of getting a red and a blue ball is 1 by 6. The total balls in the bag is 4x plus 8. Okay, so total is 4x plus 8. Remaining is red. So red would be 4x plus 8 minus x minus 2x minus 5 plus 1 is 6. That will give x plus 2. So now, probability of getting red and a blue ball is x plus 2 upon 4x plus 8, red ball drawn, and then blue ball drawn, 2x plus 1. Ball is not replaced, so number of ball left are 4x plus 7, and into 2, because we can have blue drawn first and then red drawn. Now this is equals to 1 by 6 given straight away. Or we can also use the combination technique. That would be RC1 into blue C1 divided by total C2. We'll end up getting the same equation format. So if we take common 4, it is x plus 2. We have 4, 2, 4, 2 times, and 2 gone here 3. That means 6x plus 3 if we cross multiply equals 4x plus 7. 2x equals to 4. Value of x is 2. Bingo. Now, what is the question? Find the number of red balls. Red balls are x plus 2, that is 2 plus 2, 4. We have got 4 red balls. Option B fits in. Okay, so towards the end of the session, we have what? We have got DI, and yes, 4 questions were asked from one set. And in one set, 3 different graphs were given. First say is a bar diagram, which says number of students studying in 5 institutions A, B, C, D, E. Individual students are given, and in all the 5 institute, if we find the total would be 10, 27, the 36, 46, and 54. 5400 total students are there in these 5 institutions. Then percentage wise distribution of students studying various disciplines in all the institutes combined. This is the average percentage what they have calculated. Engineering 19% students are there out of total, and in each individual college also. Arts 10%, computer science 20%, science is 18%, commerce is 15%, and management is 18%. Now the third one is a table which says different discipline and ratio of male to female students. Like in management, male to female is 5:3. For every 5 male there are 3 females. Computer science is 10:11. Females are more here. In science also females are more. Commerce is 8:7 and on. Let us see the first question, and then if required we will come back to the graph. Okay, so the first question on that three set of graphs which were given. The total number of female students studying arts in all the 5 institutions is what percentage of total number of students studying engineering in institution A, B, C. Okay. So total number of students is 5400. In arts is 10%, and in arts female is 3, male to female is 3:2. That means 2/5. That means F female of arts would be 5400 into 10%, 1/10, and that ratio was how much? 3:2. That means female would be 2/5. So we have 540 into 2 divided by 5 will give 54 into 10 into 2, 54 into 4, let it be 216. Yes, 216. Now we need engineering students from ABC. ABC 27 plus 9 is 36, and engineering are 19%. So that would be 19% of 3600, whatever it would be. That means our answer is 216 divided by 19 into 36 into 100. 36 will go 6 times. Our calculator is there. 6 divided by 19 into 100 is 31.57%, 31.6%. And here it's like rounded up, so I'll go for 31%. Option C fits in. Okay, the second question from the same set of DI, and I have all the data in front of me, so I'm not going to go back. You may go back, freeze the screen, try to note the data and then solve. No issues. The total number of male students in computer science in all the 5 institutes. Total number of students is 5400, and in computer science we have got 20% of the student, 20 by 100, and in computer science ratio of male to female is given as 10:11. That means male would be 10 by 21. If we solve this, how much we'll get? So if we calculate, what we'll get? 5400 into 2 divided by 21, and let us round this off. This would be 515. Is what percent more than number of female students studying in engineering in college A, C, D and E. Total strength of A, C, D and E is 3900. Engineering are 19%, and ratio of male to female in engineering colleges 2:3, that is 3/5. And now if we calculate this, calculator value would be 445. Now the question is, how much is 515 greater than 445? Difference between these two is 70, and since we need to compare it with 445, we'll divide this by 445 into 100. 70 divided by 445 is 15.7%. 15.73%. They have asked to give answer in 1 decimal point. It would be 15.7%. Option C fits in. Okay, the third question from the same set of graph. We have the graph in front of us, so I will be picking up those data directly. What is the ratio of total number of male students studying management institution B and D? The total number of people studying in B and D is 2500. Management are 18%, and male to female ratio of management institution is 5:3, so it would be 5/8. To the total number of students studying engineering in institutes A and E, total strength of A and E is 2000 and engineering is 19%. Total number of students, no male female, so this much. This is the ratio which we are looking out for, simply. This goes 5 times, this goes 4 times, 100 gone. And so what we will have? 4, 2 and 4, 9. So we have 9 into 25 upon 8 into 2, 16. 16 into 19. No, nothing is cancelling out. 25 into 9 is 225. And 16 into 19 is 304. So the ratio we are looking out for is 225:304, and that is in option B. Okay, so here we are, the fourth one for the DI and the last one in this particular session. We have the graph in front of us. Let us calculate. The total number of students studying science in institution A and D. Okay, A and D, total number of students studying are 2200 and science is 18%. So 2200's 18% is how much? 22 into 18, that is 396. Now this is approximately what percent more than the total number of male students. We are looking out for male students studying commerce in BCE. Total strength of institution B, C and E is 3200. Commerce is 15% students and male female ratio for commerce is 8:7. That means male in proportion would be 8/15. 32 into 8, 16, 24, 25, 256. So the question asked is, how much is 396? 396 is what percent more than 256? We need to find the difference. 296 minus 256 would be 140. It is 140 more than, then will go in the denominator 256 into 100. So 140 divided by 256 is 54.68%. 54.68% more than 256. Correct to one decimal place we need to find. So let me make this 54.7%. Where we have, yes, 54.7 and here also is 57.4. These two options are just for the visual confusion, isn't it? Please mark properly on 54.7. Option A should fit in.